never see another show. You will never see this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to do for you bits, drips, and drabs of Victoriana. Usually it is in all Lewis Carroll performance, but unfortunately, we lost our pianist.
Oh!
It was a poker game.
Oh.
Never bet the musician, sir. It always comes back on you. I would like to point out some of the famous people in this room, ladies and gentlemen. The Siamese triplets, Antonio, the bearded lady, and the half-woman, half-fish. And now that you've all gotten to know each other, I will introduce the most astounding freak of all. You will be chilled. You will be mesmerized. You will be disgusted at the full unleashed power of the greatest storyteller within inches of this place, Mr. Mark Lewis.
Bravo, yes.
And standing beside me, a raucous raconteur, a cunning linguist, David Springhorn.
Bravo.
Thank you for your support. I will always wear it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we shall start the afternoon with a bit of poetry.
Poetry.
From the ridiculous to the divine, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mark Lewis will give to you the quintessential Christmas poem.
All of my life I've wondered about the balance between the old and the new. The old ways, the new ways, especially at the time of Christmas. And I found this story written by a man named Frank Sidgwick. The story is called A Christmas Legend. It goes like this. Abroad on a winter's night there ran, under the starlight, leaping the rills, swollen with snowdrip from the hills, goat-legged, goat-bearded Pan. He loved to run on the crisp white floor, where black hill torrents chiseled grooves, and he loved to print his clean-cut hooves where none had trod before. And now he slacked and came to a stand beside a river too broad to leap. And as he panted, he heard a sheep that bleated near at hand. Bellwether, bellwether, what do you say? Peace, and huddle your ewes from cold, master. But ere we went to fold, our herdsman hastened away. Over the hill came others twain, and pointed the way to Bethlehem, and spake with him, and he followed them, and has not come again. He dropped his pipe at the river reed, he left his scrip in his haste to go, and all our grazing is under snow, so that we cannot feed. Left his sheep on a winter's night? Pan folded them with an angry frown. Bellwether, bellwether, I'll go down where that star shines bright. Down to the hamlet, he met the man. Shepherd, no shepherd, thy flock is lorn. Oh master, no master, a child is born, royal, greater than Pan. Lo, I have seen a goat of my sheep. Follow my footsteps through the snow, but warily, warily see thou go, for mother and baby sleep. Into the stable yard Pan crept, and there in the manger a baby lay, beside his mother upon the hay, and mother and baby slept. Pan bent over the sleeping child, gazed on him, panting after his run, and then in a moment, the little one opened his eyes and smiled, and after a little space, struggled an arm from his swaddling band, and raising a tiny dimpled hand, patted the bearded face. Something snapped in the breast of Pan. His heart, his throat, his eyes were sore, and he wished to weep as never before since the world began. So out he went to the silly sheep, to the fox on the hill, the fish in the sea, the horse in the stall, the bird in the tree, asking them how to weep. they could not teach. They did not know the law stands writ for the beast that's dumb, that a limb may ache and a heart be numb, but never a tear can flow. So, bear you kindly today, O man, for all that is dumb and all that is wild, for the sake of the Christmas babe who smiled in the eyes of the great god, Pan.
Oh, hello, hello.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, you shall see a man with two instruments.
Whoa.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marcus Lewis
Marcus.
will at this point bring forth his woodwind instruments and astound you with his lip work, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Mark Lewis.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next piece I will do for you is a song I wrote to be played by two recorders. This is a recorder duet. But since I have no one to duet with, I will duet all by myself. No, really. I'm going to play both of the recorders simultaneously, at the same time, together, in unison. That's the Department of Redundancy Department. Thank you, thank you. The song is called The Recorder Duet. It's a song for two recorders and one mouth. My mouth.
My ear.
You don't... I'm not playing by ear, I'm playing...
Okay.
You don't think I can do it, do you?
Oh.
A challenge from the front row. This is also called If It Ain't Baroque.
Oh.
Don't fix it.
Oh.
Soprano. And tenor. Not for that song we waited so long, do you?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, the magnum opus of Lewis Carroll, the greatest piece that ever has been brought forth by English literature. And there is in it a part for you, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, indeed.
Ready? Good. Now, this is a wonderful piece, one of those rare pieces of theater where the performers actually get to eat the audience.
Whoa.
You will be playing the part of oysters.
Oysters.
Oh,
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing the Walrus and the Carpenter,
Bravo.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And you will have costumes.
Us.
Like so. Take one arm like this, put one arm like that.
Oh.
Come on, oysters.
Come on.
It's an awful lot of fabric leaving up the middle of the picture.
Everybody say, hello.
Hello.
I'm an oyster.
I'm an oyster.
Very nice.
Very good. Now repeat after me. If a noise annoys an oyster,
If a noise annoys an oyster,
then a noisy noise annoys an oyster more.
then a noisy noise annoys an oyster more.
Magnificent.
Well
Now-
done.
Well done indeed. And now we take you to yet another plateau in the mind of Lewis Carroll. This particular one is at the seaside.
But we have to channel two of Lewis Carroll's greatest characters.
Ah yes, the Tweedle brothers.
Whoa. Oh, yes, bravo! I see it, I feel it. Oh.
If you think we're waxworks, you ought to pay, you know.
Waxworks weren't meant to be looked at for nothing, you know.
Do you think they like poetry?
I don't know, do you like poetry?
Yes!
Walrus the Carpenter's the longest.
What shall we do, eh?
Yes, then we'll have tea.
Thank you.
I'm Tweedledum.
And I'm not. I want to be Tweedledum.
Well, you are the married one.
I'll tell you what, I'm the smart one, but I'll play dumb.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it goes somewhat like this. The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all its might.
It did its very best to make the billows smooth and bright.
And this was odd because it was the middle of the night.
Yes, yes. The moon was shining sulkily because she thought the sun had got no business to be there after the day was done.
It's very rude of him,
she said,
to come and spoil the fun.
The sea was wet as wet could be.
The sand was dry as dry.
You could not see a cloud.
Because no clouds were in the sky.
No bird was flying overhead.
There were no birds to fly.
The walrus
and the carpenter
were walking close at hand.
They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand.
Oh, if this were only swept away, they said, it would be grand.
If 7 maids with 7 mops swept for half a yard, do you think,
the walrus said,
that they could get it clear?
I doubt it,
said the carpenter,
and shed a bitter tear.
Oyster!
Oh, that's our part.
Come and walk with us.
The walrus did beseech.
Pleasant walk, pleasant talk along the briny beach. One cannot do with more than 4 to give a hand to each. The eldest oyster looked at him, but never a word he said. The eldest oyster winked his eye and shook his heavy head, meaning to say,
I do not wish to leave me oyster bed now, bugger off. I'm being selfish.
But 4 young oysters hurried up,
all eager for the treat.
Their clothes were brushed,
their faces washed,
their shoes were clean and neat.
And this was all
because you know they haven't any feet.
Then 4 more oysters hurried up.
And yet another 4.
And thick and fast.
They came at last.
And more.
And more.
And more.
Oh, scampering through the frothy waves.
And hopping to the shore. The walrus
and the carpenter
walked on a mile or so.
And stopped and waited at a rock, conveniently low. And all the little oysters stood and waited in a row.
Whoa.
The time has come,
the walrus said,
to talk of many things. Of shoes, and ships, and sealing wax, cabbages, and kings.
Oh.
Why the sea is boiling hot, and whether pigs have wings. And now here's your part, everyone. Oysters up.
Oysters
we now have before you handmaid. Right over here, right over here. Bring your children.
Don't worry, it's just a stage you're going through.
These are your lines, oysters.
Whoa!
The oysters cried.
Before we start our chat, some of us are out of breath, and all of us are fat.
No hurry,
said the walrus.
We thank them much for that.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
A loaf of bread,
the walrus said,
is what we chiefly need. Pepper and vinegar, too, are very good indeed. Now, if you're ready, oysters dear, we shall begin to feed.
Then we say, oh no!
Your lines! The oysters cried,
turning a little blue.
After such kindness, that would be a dismal thing to do.
The night is fine.
The walrus said,
do you admire the view? It was so good of you to come, and you are very nice. The carpenter said nothing but,
Cars are never slice. I wish you were not quite so deaf. I've had to ask him twice.
It seems a shame,
The Walrus said.
to play them such a trick, after we have brought them out so far and made them trot so quick. The carpenter said nothing but,
Your butter's spread too thick.
I weep for you, oysters dear. I deeply sympathize. Mid sighs and tears, he sorted out those of the largest size. Holding a pocket handkerchief before his streaming eyes.
I would say, oh. Oh, oysters,
Said the carpenter,
we've had a pleasant run. Shall we be trotting home again?
but answer came there none.
And this was scarcely odd because they'd eaten every one.
Thank you.
Hell, hell, yeah! Bravo! Encore! Encore! Whoa! On the stage!
Mr. David Springhorn!
Let's see one. Bravo! Yeah!
Mr. Mark Lewis,
Come see us again. We never know what we're going to say.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Enjoy the rest of your stay in London. Thank you very much.
Bravo! Yeah!